I'm a 3D person. I know architecture engineering. If I can design the building, the functionality of the building, then why can't I build it? So I put my resume out there knowing that my dream job was to work with Clark Construction, the largest general contractor in the country. I reached out to Clark Construction. They just hired their first female HR representative, and she hired me in 2000. And I told her I wanted to build skyscrapers in DC.
Wow.
And at 24 years old, I got my first 11-story office building in downtown DC.
Oh my God.
During one of my PTO meetings, I was presenting something, and my kids were so loud in the back. After I finished my presentation, I was like, what were you guys so animated about? And they were like, well, they don't believe that you're in construction, that you build things. As many hours as I've had success, I've had about 3 times as many hours of adversity, negativity, racism, you can't do this, sexism. So I built up hours in adversity.
What would you like your legacy to look like?
Ooh.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Own Your Brand Show. I'm your girl, Victoria Odekomaya, and on this show, we bring you real stories of powerful boss ladies that are crushing it. We also share with you actionable strategies to help you build your brand and build your business. And today I am excited to welcome Akilah Darden. Look, if you don't know this woman, you need to know her. She's an amazing mom. I've come to know a little bit more about her, and she is very fun to be around. I remember when I photographed her, at first I was a little nervous because she's very accomplished. She owns a construction business. She's a construction management expert. She's an author. She has several classes that she's using to help other people grow in their construction businesses. So she's really killing it in all of the areas. So when I was trying to get to know, I was like, oh my God, but she's really cool. And today we're going to be sharing a little bit about her life journey and the things that she's doing to help the community. I want to touch on her successes, the challenges, and how she broke through into this business. So without much ado, let's get into it. Hi, how are you doing, Akilah?
Victoria, that was amazing. I'm trying to figure out who you're talking to.
It's you. It's you. Powerful boss ladies here. I am just so excited and honored to feature you in this edition of the Boss Ladies magazine. And if you have not seen this one, it's available to you online. You can pick up a copy as well, but you definitely want to read and see how she looks. I don't know if I can even say that, but anyway.
It was amazing. Let me tell you, go check Victoria out. You want her to do your photo shoot, your cover page, your headshot. She's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Well, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. Can I just say I love your studio? This
you.
is beautiful. Talk about a boss lady.
Oh,
I'm so impressed.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm very impressed with the things that you're doing. I like that it's also very intentional, but for those people that don't know who you are, just give us a brief introduction.
Okay, a brief introduction. Well, I'm from the DC metro area. I have a twin sister. I'm 8 minutes older, and I have an older brother. All 3 of us are entrepreneurs. My parents are educators. So I was raised with 2 teachers. One is an English teacher, my mom. And I went to school in Fairfax County. I was really good at math. I wanted to be an engineer, and then I found architecture my senior year. Went to the North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I received my Bachelor of Science in Architectural Engineering, best 4 years of my life. And then I went to get a master's degree in business. With a concentration in finance. And then I was with an architecture firm for 12 hours, realized I'm an extrovert. I love people, and no offense to any architects, but they're more introverted and quiet. So after the second day at lunchtime, I was like, I need to change up. I really wanted to be in construction, but my dean and professors were telling me I was too, quote unquote, smart for construction. I guess because they didn't know. So
construction is not generally a women's you don't find a lot of women in construction.
No,
too,
you don't.
Right.
And you don't find anyone that didn't grow up in construction.
Right.
So it was a double whammy. Young, Black, female. In baseball, you strike out, right? So I was going to turn those no's into yeses, and I wanted to do construction. I wanted to see what it was about. I'm a 3D person. I know architecture, engineering. If I can design the building, the functionality of the building, then why can't I build it? So it took me about 4 months to get a job, and it was in residential construction with Syntex Homes. And then I wanted more after building 2 7-unit townhome structures. It was just easy, and that's what they wanted me to do because it was making a ton of money. So I put my resume out there knowing that my dream job was to work with Clark Construction, the largest general contractor in the country. They weren't having it. So I I went to a mechanical contractor who was representing the airport, Dulles Airport, their fuel tank farm. They were acting as a mechanical contractor and a general contractor. So I worked with them for a year, and it taught me a lot about construction. It taught me a lot about composure, getting into the field, learning about the people. It was a lot. It was a highly competitive, angry environment. But through it all, it helped propel me into this is what I want to do. With all the adversity, I knew I wanted to do it. And then I reached out to Clark Construction. They just hired their first female HR representative, specifically for individuals in the construction projects. And she hired me in 2000.
Wow.
So it was May 10th, 2000. I got the call, and I told her I wanted to build skyscrapers in DC.
Wow.
And at 24 years old, I got my first 11-story office building in downtown DC.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I had to demo a 3-story warehouse and excavate or dig below the ground 80 feet, which is 5 stories. And we had a 5-story parking garage, 11-story office building, the tallest building closest to the White House.
Wow.
And 10 feet away from the oldest Catholic church in D.C. that housed the chaplain for the D.C. Police Department. So building construction, if someone dies within the D.C. Police Department, I would have to shut down the project, make sure they had access. And then I was across the street from the World Bank with the highest paid attorneys in the world. Wow. And it was like game on. So we did the project on time, on budget. They actually added $2 million in changes. And we were able to finish on time. And that propelled me like, this is what I want to do. I had to deal with community, government, Secret Service, and just my project in general.
It's so interesting as you're telling this story. It's like you were 24.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what you wanted, and you weren't going to take no for an answer. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go give it, putting out and you eventually got it. And just talking, the way you're talking about it, I can feel the joy. Like, yeah, I did that. I went for my dreams, and you built, like you said, a 11-story building.
Yeah, 11-story office building for an attorney. It was a law firm.
Wow, that is incredible. Yeah. I just love that tenacity. And I think that a lot of people can learn from that, because sometimes we're too shy as women to go for what we want. But you're saying go for it. Like, what's the worst they could say? No. But you turn the no's into a yes.
Yes.
You're like, I'm going to keep going until I hear a yes.
Absolutely. Wow. But I kind of jumped when I first got into construction. I was working on a residential project in Dulles, and they had 300 change orders, which equated to about $20 million of change orders. So new into construction, I had to figure out, the project was almost done, and I had to figure out things that were in excavating and in the walls to get the changes. But through that, I gained a rapport with the owner, which is one of the largest developers in the country. story. So, but prior to the 11-story office building, I was walking in to resign. I had another job.
Really?
Yeah, I had another job because I wasn't moving fast enough. Even though I was the youngest project manager promoted ever, I just knew I had what it took. Right? So I will say it wasn't ingrained in me. It was my girl squad and my parents, right? Because everyone's saying no, but the people I trusted were saying yes. You know, we're proud of you. We don't know why you want to do construction, but keep going.
Right.
And so I knew there were better opportunities for me. And there was a Black female architect that was building DC. And I was like, I want to work under her.
I love that.
Got the job, went in to resign, and they didn't accept my resignation. They gave me plans and specs, stacks. They put it in the trunk and they were like, this is your project. You're the project manager. You've been promoted. They gave me the world, and that I had 3 engineers working for me at the time, and they're all executives, senior VPs. One is a senior VP for Clark Construction. So those engineers that helped me on my first project as a project manager are now very successful in construction. And that when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm not only going to build and be successful, I'm gonna build community. And most importantly, I'm gonna build up the people around me. Even if they overtake me and become more successful, I knew that if I could build people, community, and projects at the same time, this is what I want to do.
I know. Wow. I can feel the energy from you. Like, so when did you decide to start your own business?
So I knew I couldn't break the glass ceiling. I was making hundreds of millions of dollars for 2 large general contracting companies. I just couldn't get in the C-suite. So I decided I was going to go into real estate and just build communities up through the residential industry. And then God was like, nope. I got pregnant with twins. And I already had...
You're a twin too.
I'm a twin that had twins.
Oh, that is so cool. I want a twin so bad.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does, right? So I was like telling the doctor, there's no way. Because I'm a twin, and she just kind of looked at me and was like, yes.
It's supposed to skip a generation or something like that,
She's like,
right?
that's not true. That's not medical sciences. And I was like, okay. So she shut that down. Plus, at the time, she was a twin that had twins, and her twin sister had twins.
Oh, my God.
And so I was like, why could, I had to meet all the doctors. Right. And that day, she was the one that told me I was having twins.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought I had a baby with 2 heartbeats, but I digress. So I was like, okay, God doesn't want me to do that right now. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to build a legacy for my future family. So I went back and I worked for another general contractor who was reaching out to me for 18 months. Went there, and then I got another opportunity to build a general contracting firm in Indianapolis. Okay. So after another 18 months.
Brought you to Indianapolis? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I thought the job was in Cincinnati. Don't tell them. Until I got the offer letter and it was Indianapolis. And I was like, oh. Mind you, I didn't know anybody in the Midwest. Definitely no one in Indianapolis or Chicago. And my husband was like, we're East Coasters. We're not going to the Midwest.
And it's very different. I used to live in DC too. So it's very, very different.
Very different. Very different. It's sink or swim. It's highly competitive. And, that's where we grew up. Right. So, and we have 4 kids. And my husband heard me speak at a graduation at his cousin's church. I thought it was her church was small and quaint. We drove up. It's this mega church, and I'm speaking to hundreds of high school and college graduates. And he's like, we got to go. He's like, you're not going to grow here. I'll do what it takes. So we moved.
Such a supporter.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I was like, really? That was 30 days. We decided in 30 days, and we moved here to the Midwest, and we love it. We love Indianapolis. And I was like hitting the ground running. I did a lot of business development for the organizations in DC. So I just hit the streets and tried to meet as many people as I could. So that was great. 3.5 years of that. Then I decided at the time when I was working with subcontractors that there's some help. not just diverse contractors, but just contractors in the Midwest, didn't have everything that they needed for what I saw with the quality of subs in DC.
Right.
And, working 16-hour days, 6 days a week, you kind of expect that momentum, not necessarily here, as well as the output that I was receiving wasn't at the standard that I'm used to be able to dissect and make management decisions. So I was like, what can I do? Then the 2019 City of Indianapolis disparity study came out. And I was heartbroken to see all the diverse contractors and the gap of opportunity. Because you can't build a business if you don't have opportunities,
Absolutely.
right? And you can't preconceive who I am until you give me a chance or opportunity, or at least let me talk about my business.
Absolutely.
So when I was meeting with people and they were talking about their business, I was like, okay, no. You don't do everything. What is your business? So I was like, let me help educate. And that's when I couldn't sleep. And I told my husband, now's the time. I'm going to start my own business. And in 2019, I started branding in January 2020.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
oh, wow, the pandemic.
Yeah, so I went from, a very nice job, stable full-time work, and then 4 months into my entrepreneurship, I had 4 young kids at home during COVID.
Moved your whole life over, and now it's like, wow.
Yes, and my kids, I had 2 kindergartners, a 2nd grader, and a 4th grader, all on Zoom. So they had 8 Zooms before 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like,
I remember those days. I used to almost pull my hair out. Like,
yes,
oh
it
my
was
God.
It was a lot.
It was
a lot of coffee, Mountain Dew, and Jesus, and not in that order. I was like, okay, I gave up Mountain Dew. But it was a lot. And I woke up early. I tried to do social media because I needed people to see me as a builder.
Right.
So I would showcase my projects because, it's hard to tell people what I've done in DC if they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of social media in the morning, then handled the kids' virtual stuff. And, after I think 10 months, perseverance is key. I just want to let you know that. I got Cook Medical called me. Actually, a lady that saw me on LinkedIn was following me, went to a meeting, and they were looking for a person to engage the community for the Cook Goodwill Medical manufacturing facility, and on the Far East Side. And they wanted 100% minority participation. And she thought of me. She's like, okay, we're going to act like we're friends. And I'm like, we're friends already.
Right.
Anyone that wants to give someone an opportunity to showcase their talents, we're friends. And then 2 days later, I had a contract with Cook Medical to get 100% minority participation on the Far East Side.
Wow.
I have 45 days.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
So we got 100%, but we got 97% minority-owned businesses. So 97% of the subcontractors were of color. And of that, 96% were African-American businesses.
That's amazing.
And then 3% women and veteran. And, we hired 46 minorities new to construction. And 76 new people to construction, mostly in Marion County. So it wasn't just building a project with and for the community. It was providing jobs, getting individuals in the trades, and those individuals who didn't have necessarily everything that they needed. LIST gave us a grant to take them through my master class, and it was wonderful.
So I want to step back a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about, in that pandemic season, you were doing social media because you understand that you needed to put yourself out there.
Yes.
And that led to the opportunities to someone calling you, right? And then now that led to even more things, you helping other people to build their businesses.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yes.
That is powerful. And I think a lot of people don't understand the power of putting yourself out there.
Yes.
Going for what you want, like letting people know. Because if people don't know what you're doing, how can they patronize you?
Yes.
So it's really, and I really appreciate you saying that too, and also telling us about how that you doing that led to other things.
Yeah. And I want to tell everyone, you do not have to be an extrovert to get on social media. And I'm an extrovert because I love people. I love engaging. I love one-on-one conversations. I love group conversations. Talking to a camera is something totally different.
Yes.
But I was reading, and at night I would have dreams, and everything would come up. Success is on the other side of fear. You know? And so Eleanor Roosevelt said, do something that you fear every day. So I said, okay. And I turned the camera on and I started doing social media. And that's what helped me be comfortable in front of the camera. And then I started filming my videos for my master class. Wow. So that's how it all started, because people perceive me one way, which is based on their exposure and experience.
Right.
But I needed them to perceive me as who I am, which is a very dynamic builder.
Right.
Who's feminine, by the way, right? So I want to get that out there. You can't be in STEM and a male-dominated industry and still be feminine. That's why I wear my pearls. I'm pearls and hard hats, right?
Yes.
So I was like, I need them to see who I am and not who they perceive me to be. But I wanted them to know I am successful and I will always be successful, regardless of the adversity or whatever complexities come. And it's because of that, like before I got that global contractor or contract, I was working with some subcontractors in DC.
Okay.
So I was working with minority-owned businesses, and I would step in as their project manager. So I would get on Zoom and help negotiate changes that I wasn't even part of. Give me your contract, give me the specifications, game time. And so I did that for a while. And then that's what gave me the confidence as a business, not having a huge company with marketing and business development and project managers and executives, but being able to hit the ground running with all the tools that I already had.
Yeah. So it's like, you know that you have this talent.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what really building a business is about, like really using your talent to solve problems. So everything else, obviously, it's good to have. And, you know, as your business grows, you have those things too. But like the core of it's like, I have a talent, I can solve this problem, let's go.
Absolutely.
And you're telling people about it, like, yeah, I can help you with this.
Yes, and I would add confidence too.
Confidence, yes,
right? Because you know you have talent, you're solving a problem, which is key. What you said, solving someone else's problem, not the problems that you think you can solve.
True.
Because you might be an expert in this problem, but that's not their need.
Yes.
So it's listening, and I see a need that they have. I can solve the problem. Here's my expertise, and even if I get 100 no's, somebody's going to say yes. And having the confidence to keep going until you get that one thing that you can shine. And I tell everybody that one thing you have to shine.
Yes.
You only get one shot, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be able not only to shine in that project or that business or that opportunity, but make sure that you're networking through the opportunity to get something at the end.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that confidence, because I think that a lot of people don't have that confidence.
Yes.
I can feel it with you right now. And I think that in some cases, I would say that sometimes it's the confidence that sells the product or whatever it is that you're selling.
Absolutely.
People want to know that you are confident in providing the result that you claim that you provide.
Yes.
And so even if you know what you're doing and you're like, well, I think that, you just lost them. You know?
Absolutely. So the confidence comes from preparation, right? So if you work hard and you spend time in your art or your expertise, when it's game time, you're always ready because you know your product.
That's
so even if you have a business that you put all this money into it, do you know your business, right? And can you communicate to others what your business is? And can you pivot during a conversation to see, oh, this is their problem. Let me switch it up a bit and tell them this and how I can solve their problem. And it's knowing yourself, listening, and that confidence comes because you spent so many hours in what you did. So when I got the Cook project, no, I didn't spend a lot of hours with minority businesses. I did have friends with the city and the state. I also had subcontractors that could share the word because they had worked with me before. But it was the confidence and the president of both organizations, whether it was IU Health or Cook Medical to say, we're going to do this, right?
Yes.
Because people are like, okay, I have confidence in her, but they're not going to believe her. So it was a top down, bottom up at the same time.
That's right.
And it was because I put so much time into construction, it didn't matter who I was talking to.
Right.
Whether it was minorities or just businesses or people, community. I was like, who is the loudest person in the neighborhood? I need to meet them, gain their trust, and help me, because I can't do it alone. So I had different mouthpieces. I brought people to the site with grass and pavement and a church. And I said, we're going to honor the church, but it's coming down. We built a manufacturing facility, and then we also built a grocery store in a food desert, which was built by 88% minorities as well. And with that, I just want to say, not only did we build the community, because have you seen 46218 shared on Sheridan in Arlington? It's amazing. Okay.
I need to check that out.
It's like almost Black Wall Street. But we were able to do the manufacturing facility, put a grocery store in a food desert, but those 18 subcontractors that turned into 12 or 13 for the grocery store, now working on a $4 billion hospital campus. Okay.
Wow.
So they started out small, but just how you start, where are you going? Gain enough information. So the subs that came to me were not self-sufficient. It was like, you go there, do that. You go here and do that. And I'm like, nope, we're going to do a 3-week look ahead schedule. You're going to prep your people. You're going to know who's going to be where a week in advance so that we can move this ship together with the same sheet of music. So they started to understanding running a business, the administrative, the operational, and not just the technical sticks and bricks.
Wow. So when you say it like that, I'm like, you can run any business.
Yes. Yes. I'm a project manager by trade. I'm a I guess that's why God gave me 4 kids and 2 at the same time. Because I did have conversations. I'm a multitasker, and people were like, nope, you just do a lot of things quickly. And I was like, that's not it. So God was like, okay, we're giving her twins. And there's a lot of things you have to do 2 at a time.
Right.
And it was just basically, let me communicate with everyone what we're going to do. Then we're going to collaborate. Where are the experts? Where are your strengths?
Right.
And then we're going to coordinate.
Right.
That's schedule, that's budget. We're going to talk all those things. What I learned at my dream job was that if I can plan and build the project before I get on site, it will be successful.
That's interesting, because it's the same process when we're doing filming or any production like that, movies. The pre-production part is probably the most important phase of the work.
Absolutely.
Because you want to go in as prepared as possible so that if anything comes out, you can quickly pivot or make changes. And it sounds like in constructions, there's always a lot of changes that comes through.
Oh, it is every day. Because, you have drawings, and we try to do CAD drawings, which are just computer automated design. So we build the project. We see any clashes, but there's still times when you're out on the site and, your HVAC guy wants to put his ductwork, but then you have a sprinkler and then you have a light, and you have to get everyone together and coordinate that, right? You could tell I was in construction before all the CAD and the BIM, where we had just, color pencils, but it's the communication, but it's the comfort level. If you know what you're doing, like when I got here today, you already had the emails, you had everything set up, what the expectation was, what were some of the questions. But then I get here, and then you have this whole production, which is fabulous. So it gets me into game time. So I automatically go from this to this because I got to heighten my expertise because of how you prepared the layout. So I always tell people, plan, prepare, and perform.
Well, you're dropping some gems right now. I love it. Yeah, plan, prepare, and perform.
Yeah.
And also to be realistic, as Black women too, we have to bring it every single time.
Yes. Not just bring it. We have to be 3 times better. 3 times. Just remember that. So if you see somebody that's on your level, you need to step it up.
That's right.
Because an average person that doesn't look like you will get the job, will get the project. You have to be that much better.
Right. Wow. All right. So throughout this journey, tell us a little bit about any challenges. I know we talked a little bit about the pandemic and you kind of scaled through that. It seemed like effortlessly too, but I'm sure it's not always effortless, there are challenges. Yeah. Can you remember a time when you had like maybe a dark time or situation in the business where you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pull through?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I have to, as many hours as I've had success, I've had about 3 times as many hours of adversity, negativity, racism, you can't do this, sexism. So I built up hours in adversity. So I became a subject matter expert on adversity, right?
Now.
And a judge of character. I saw immediately who was going to support me and who was not.
Wow.
And that is all people. People of color, women of color, majority, minority, whatever.
Right.
I had to judge character pretty quickly because I need allies. Because guess who did not look like anyone else in the room?
That's right.
You know, so I built up my hours in adversity. I dealt with people that I knew didn't want me living at the end of the project. Right. What I had to do was find some synergies with the people that didn't like me, especially if I needed them to do a part of a project. And what I found is my dad was a hunter. So those that would go hunting during Thanksgiving, I would talk about that and venison jerky and how my dad would be in trees and all the things, right? And he loved Waffle House. So I found some synergy with that. I found out about golf and par, and I was like, I'm a positive person, but I hear positivity doesn't work in golf because the negative ones win. So
yes, that's right.
Negative being the score, right?
The score, yes.
So that was like a joke. So, and then through the joking, I was like, I signed your payment application for you to get paid. I said, we don't have to be friends, but I need you here to do this thing by this time because someone else is coming after you. And if you're not done, that's going to be a deduction because I got to pay them because you're not on time.
Right.
Communicated that with everyone, got them paid on time. Also got them work during the project on other projects because I was talking to other project managers. So they were winning. Wow. So if I could make people win and show them how to win and then give them opportunities, then they're not only going to win and build their business, they're going to hire more people and they're going to tell people about their experience because they're so happy because they're winning.
That's right.
And so through that, being an entrepreneur and knowing I'm great at all these things, I had to realize that I have to solve someone else's problem.
Yes.
Maybe they're not building an office building. I mean, I have a high clearance. I can do classified work, but that's not the need right now. So it was listening. The pandemic happened, social unrest, George Floyd, all the things happened. People started changing their mindset to more social responsibility. What I knew I could do was get subcontractors to build something on time and within budget. The need was, we're going to go back into the marginalized communities and give them opportunities. So I was like, well, you're building marginalized people, opportunities. Construction is my jam.
That's right.
And I love, my passion is people. And I was like, I got to the table and what I did was put a doorstop. I got in the room and put a doorstop. And not only that, I looked at the construction of the table and the chairs and I was like, okay, I'm going to build my own tables and chairs, but people have to buy in that room. So we're going to get this room, get it situated, get it comfortable. And how many more people are like you, Akilah? Bring them in while we're building this over here. So you're here, but I have you here in the morning training you up so that when you are at the table, you are at the table and you're part of the table.
Wow.
You're not just like, yeah, I'm at the table. No. You're going to be efficient and effective and you're going to showcase that you're exceptional because I need you to bring 3 other people.
That's right. Ooh, that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because not everybody thinks like that. They get in the door and they shut it closed.
Absolutely. I made it.
Right, yeah.
And then they treat others
like
worse.
Yeah.
Because I made it and you need to work 10 times harder. And I'm like, excuse me, who was your ally? Who was your sponsor?
That's right.
Who got you to the table? Let's not forget. And then what I do is I help people who help people.
Right.
You will get my help as long as you're helping someone else. Because you know what? It's enough for everyone. Absolutely. And God blesses those who bless others.
That's right. So I think I'm getting a better understanding of what fuels you now because everything that you do, stems from loving your job and loving people and wanting to help them grow. That's why you started your masterclass, sir.
Yes.
Essentially, like bringing people, tell us a little bit about that, because you're bringing people to the table to empower them for that next big job so they can empower others too.
Correct. And I want to be very clear. This is a construction management masterclass and not skilled trades. So we have enough of that. We have enough workforce development. This is to develop the professional to be in a managerial position. Everyone wants to help you with your hands and your trade, sticks and bricks, build something, get your head down and just build. I want people to see with your head down and you're building, how much are you doing in an hour? How much are you doing in a day, whether it's 8 or 10 hour workday? How many people are with you? How much are they doing? If you can do the work, learn the skill that no one can take away from you, and you can see the time in which you can do the linear feet or how many blocks you can stack, then you're estimating. So you can go back to the office and say, no, you can build that wall in this amount of time with this many guys for this many days. So you're estimating, but you're helping the business development manager with articulating what your expertise is to get the opportunity. And then you can actually speak in the presentation because you know what you're talking about. So it's not just sticks and bricks putting in the work. What am I doing? What are they doing? How are they ordering material? What are the costs so that I can be competitive? You know, so this masterclass, which is courses.dardengroupllc.com, it's accredited by the Construction Management Association of America. I teach you the management of construction, how to be efficient and effective, project management, agendas, memos, commissioning. So we have pre-functional and functional testing for equipment because your building, if it doesn't function, it's worthless, right?
That's right.
So I teach how to read the specifications, how to read the drawings, do takeoffs, estimating, bidding, cost management, communication. We talk about communicate, collaborate, coordinate. We talk about plan, prepare, perform. And then we get into the money because I love that you're doing the work, but I need you billing every 21 days in a 30-day duration, right? So it's great to know what you do. I need you to know how many people, the time. If you're going to Lowe's or Home Depot, you're losing money. So I need you to figure that out. And I show you how to do that. And I give you all the templates, which now is on Etsy. So you can get the template outside of the course because you do have 90 days because I'm all about time and money.
Yeah.
Because that's what our business is.
You're very efficient with this too.
Absolutely. So you get 90 days for my course.
I can see the DC, trade coming out of you. Like, let's get it going.
I mean, time is money.
It is.
And nobody has time to waste, right? And I need to get hundreds of people on the same sheet of music with the same passion. And nobody on any one of my jobs wants to hold someone else up.
Because
we have that energy. And everybody wants to win. And I can't win until the weakest link strengthens up, right? So I teach that. I teach systems and processes within construction, but I've had people that wanted to get extra credit hours for their PMP take the course. Because it's all about project management and efficiencies. We go into commissioning. We go into materials. Because we were able to build a project within the pandemic with material and labor shortages and still get our minority participation with a general contractor who was of color. No excuses. So when people talk about inflation and they talk about tariffs, I'm like, let's talk about the efficiency and effectiveness, and then we will talk about the tariffs and all that stuff. But people are using that
as an excuse
or a way to make money with those individuals that can't do the evaluation. So I'm here to explain to people, this is the cost of construction. This is inefficiencies with the cost of construction that have nothing to do with tariffs and nothing to do with inflation. But if you don't understand the business, then you're going to pay, for owners, you're going to pay way more than you should. And for general contractors, you may lose money, you may make money, but, honesty is the key, right? And to be trustworthy. So I'm trying to educate those through the master class. But most importantly is that you have a 50-page workbook that you're working through. You can actually print the page out, write on it, and turn it into an owner and get paid. So the guessing game is out. Now you're showing up professionally. You're showing up with the breakdown of what you've done, which helps you, it helps you to articulate what you've done in your business. And then from that, you get more opportunities. So sometimes you think you're going in to explain your payment application, but really that's the interview for the next job.
You got to be prepared for that.
Absolutely. And be able to answer questions. When they want to negotiate what you've already spent, you got to have that expertise in knowing about your business, what your people have done in the time frame that they've done it, to hold firm on your payment application.
Right. I see like you're helping people level up.
Absolutely.
It's not just like you call it the sticks and the bricks, but like understanding the whole process so that you can educate, you can talk about it with educatively talk about. I don't even know if that's a word. But it's like, intelligently talk about it. But I also, when you started talking about the book, I was thinking about the book you wrote with your kids.
Yeah.
My mom is a construction manager. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like you get to bring your kids in. Like I love, our business is also a family business now. We're trying to bring the kids in there. But tell us, how did that book come alive?
Well, first I want to say about the Construction Management Masterclass, I want to tell the audience, we are helping people compete and win and grow their business. That's first and foremost.
Right.
It's sharing what I know. I have 25 years of construction experience in that masterclass. We will be having a part 2. Which goes into the new TikTok, what I wanted to mention. We're taking the masterclass. People want more, but they want individual connectivity. So we're doing a 30-second timeout on TikTok. It's coming out this month.
I love it.
Launch on your show, your podcast. And it's 30-second snippets. So they're going to get in additional stuff that they didn't get in the course, individualized for their certain situations.
That's amazing.
But the book, My Mom is a Construction Manager, I wasn't going to be author. I didn't want to write a book, but I got a lot of people asking why construction, how you do it. You're a mom, you're a wife, you have 4 kids, all the things. But I was a PTO president for my kids' school in
you're
2019.
doing all of that too?
Oh
wow.
man, let me tell you. So it was half regular world, half pandemic, and I'm the PTO president.
Oh my God.
But when we had our events, one, I added music and food, and people helping with kids, because some of we have 52 languages that were spoken at our school. So with that, I know family and a lot of cultures is key.
Right.
And then I'm having a meeting during dinner time. So let me provide those things that would help people to come and spend time so we know what they need.
Yes.
So during one of my PTO meetings, I was presenting something, and my kids were so loud in the back. And I was like, okay. I was like, can y'all quiet down? And then after I finished my presentation, I was like, what were you guys so animated about? And they were like, well, they don't believe that you're in construction, that you build things. And so we talked about that. And so the book, My Mom is a Construction Manager, is through the eyes of my 4 kids. They've been on all of my projects. And the basis was, what you see is what you'll be.
Right.
And if you can see me, you can be me. So it was very important that the cover had myself with my 4 kids. And every illustration in the book are projects I've built in different phases of construction, whether it is, the concrete slabs, showing the insides of that, right? Because a lot of people don't know that we do a slab at a time for elevated decks. But every single illustration is a project I've built, whether it was the old church in D.C. or Carroll Square, which is the office building I built. But it also shows the pandemic and how I spent a lot of time on the computer, whether it was training, consulting, or speaking. And it shows that I'm still a mother, and I go to all my kids' events. I don't miss any of their events.
Wow.
That's very important to me.
And I know your kids are into a lot of sports too.
Absolutely, about 7, but who's counting? The girls, they're into softball and hopefully basketball soon. And my son is wrestling. Well, my oldest son is wrestling and football, and he used to play baseball. So I think he's focused on football. And then my son was soccer and volleyball. Now he's focused on volleyball. He plays club. So we've added that. And the girls want to start playing traveling softball. But I wanted to showcase in the book that you can be a mother, have active kids, and still do well in a male-dominated industry that may or may not want you. Not really wanted, but I chose that as a profession. So you needed to see that from the cover.
Right.
I knew it was very important with colors and how we look. Our textured hair, the different phases of hair are in the book, from when I was a little kid playing with Legos and and puzzles, and then in college hair, and then the professional hair after.
Wow.
So I got a lady from Nigeria. She did the illustrations. I found her on Instagram.
The Nigerians.
Yay! And then actually she moved to the UK. She's working on film. Super excited for her. Got her at the right time.
Yeah.
And then the lady that actually compiled the book, she is Dominican. And then I got my book printed in China.
Wow.
But that's only because my Dominican friend had a friend who was Chinese, and she had a publisher or a printer.
Okay.
And so I evaluated US versus that, and it was just so much greater.
Right.
So all women of color helped create the book. So it was not just telling my story through the eyes of my kids and giving my kids the opportunity to be authors, but it was all minority women. We have now won an international and national book award just telling the story. So I want to tell you, everyone has a story, and you never know who wants to hear it, who will be inspired by it.
Right.
Tell your story, and you never know what happens.
That's the reason why I really do this podcast, to share the stories, because I know that I get inspired, and definitely people get it, because people are in different stages of their life. And sometimes we get to think that, oh, we're the only ones going through this. Like, how can I do this? Like, but when you see other people shining and making it, like that fuels me. And I'm hoping that inspires others not to give up on their dreams too.
Absolutely.
So, wow. So if you were to give someone in this stage of life, in a different stage of like an earlier version of you, an advice, and I know you just kind of gave a little bit about, telling your story here, but what would you say to them to encourage and inspire them?
One, you can do it. 2, find people who will push you and tell you that you can do it. I have my girl squad. I have my mom. I have my husband. But most importantly, manage your social media time. It's great to see people doing it, but you're watching people doing it when you can do it yourself. So I and my husband is always like, you need to finish these books. And I'm like, I read the book just enough to get something that I can utilize, and then I got to stop. Because I'm like, I got to work on that nugget.
Yeah.
So social media is great. Get the nuggets and then go build your business, build your creativity, or just expound upon being that employee and being the best at it.
Right.
Use social media as a tool to get ahead, not to judge or compare yourself.
Right.
Everyone can win in whatever it is that you do. I mean, people made pies and became millionaires, right?
Yes.
People are talking on podcasts and became millionaires. So whatever your passion is, put in the work. Put in the work in yourself, your creativity. What is your expertise? What's your why? Storytell.
Right.
And touch social media, but don't spend a lot of time, because the hours you spend in somebody else's life, you could be building your own.
That's right. I think also for me, what I'm also hearing from you is like, be focused too. Like,
Absolutely.
figure out what that goal is, because I see you as very intentional, very focused. You're not easily distracted by, like social media can be very distracting, but you know where you're going. And sometimes we get wrapped up in a lot of things that we don't need to be, especially when you start scrolling. But like, I'm hearing you say, stay focused, know where you're going, build allies, build friends, learn adversity so that you can know how to deal with it as well, but just keep going and stay focused.
Absolutely. Focus scares people. So I would like to tell people that, know what you want to do. If you don't, here's a quick tip. Pick 5 things you would do without money. If you didn't have to worry about money, what are those 5 things? And that's your passion.
Yeah.
Now put your passion with your purpose and go solve a problem, and you have it.
That's right.
And then you bring back your why, right? So I tell people to journal how they're feeling now, so that when they do create a business and they find the 5 things that they will do for free, and then narrow it down to 1. That's the light laser, right? Lasers penetrate walls, lights just shine on them.
Right.
So you want to penetrate, you want to solve that problem. That's how you're going to grow and gain respect in the industry, whatever that industry is. And that's how you'll gain focus. That's where your business plan will come from, is your why statement and how well you can tell your story.
Right.
Whether it's your expertise, whether your background, where you came from, your confidence, stuff like that. Because the confidence will come from the preparation, and everybody has a story to tell because you had lives to live, right? But that is the key to gain the focus. Because I know a lot of the people that I mentor focus scares them. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my superpower is, which mine are my pearls, by the way. Even when I'm in those tough meetings and it's all older men that don't look like me, you know I have this, and I'm like, okay, let's go, because there's a bunch of women that want to do the same thing I'm doing, and I have to open the door and pave the way. But that's where you're going to get your focus, and your why is figuring those 5 things out first.
That's amazing. Yeah. And once you get all of that, then share it. Tell people.
Share.
Get online. Do whatever you need to do in terms of creating content, whatever it is to let people know. That part is also very important.
Yes. And reach as you climb.
Yes.
And even if you don't have opportunities and you hear about opportunities and you know somebody that can utilize that opportunity, share it.
Right.
Because you're going to get more opportunities by how many opportunities you share.
Right. Oh, that's so good. So what would you like your legacy to look like?
Ooh, I would like my legacy to be that she worked as hard as she could to change the game for everyone. That people can just show up, be themselves, and not have to worry about their skin color, their ethnicity, what language they speak, how they look, their gender, who they love. Yeah. Like, let's come and let's compete based on what we do.
Right.
And not have all these preconceived notions, these conscious biases. And just be able, everybody's at the table and everybody's competing to win, not because you know such and such or that you look a certain way. I want to do whatever we can to have everyone show up as their authentic self and winning.
And I think you're already doing that.
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank
oh my
you.
goodness. So we talked about the book.
Yes.
We talked about the masterclass. We're going to put the links to everything in the description. You already know how that goes. Do yourself a favor and I think I'm a project manager. I have a PMP too. And I think I'm going to be looking into that because, well, first of all, I need it for my credits too. But also, I like it because I think I can learn about, I feel like I can extrapolate how to build a business successfully from that. Absolutely. And I know it's a little different, because you're teaching about construction and management, building a business around it. But I like the fact that I feel like every business should really be run that way. Like beyond what you're doing, think about how the pieces are moving.
Yes.
Think about how the problems that you're trying to solve and figure out how those pieces can help solve that. So I feel like it just gives you more confidence and helps you just be a more holistic problem solver.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I'm going to be checking it out too, but make sure you do. And thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. This is wonderful, Victoria.
Thank you.
And your husband over there doing production. That's awesome. A family business and your son taking pictures. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you
It's been an honor.
Yeah. Absolutely, for me too. Thank you so much for coming. Well, until next time, make sure you check out those links and keep it here. We're going to bring another fun episode to you again. So bye.